This past Wednesday night marked a historic evening at Gamble Pavilion as three freshmen were in the starting lineup for the Huskies for the first time in over 20 years. The freshman class accounted for 80% of the UConn offense, led by a career-high 32 from Paige Beckers.
I looked out there one time, we had 4 freshmen and a high school kid. You know, you got to be pretty happy with some of the stuff that we did.
Tonight, UConn travels to the Midwest for a matchup against the second-place team in the Big East, Marquette. And we're going one-on-one with Paige Beckers in an exclusive interview and taking you right up to tip-off. So get ready for a night of UConn women's basketball right here on SNY. Well, you're looking right there at the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where number 3 UConn go to face off against the 12-2 Marquette Golden Eagles. All the action coming up right here on your home for UConn basketball. It is SNY. As we welcome you inside Studio 31, the UConn women's basketball pregame show presented by Cadillac. Gary Apple once again alongside Kara Walters, and UConn coming off that 32-point victory on Wednesday night against St. John's. Their freshman, Kara, big time in that game. They combined for 75 of UConn's 94 points in that contest. So let's begin right there. And what the freshmen are showing you.
Yeah, I mean, just really impressive, right?
Yes.
When you go to UConn and you step on the court, it's not automatic that you have this work ethic, right? You either have it and you get it, or you're gone, right? And I think this freshman class gets it at this point in the season. And I've said it before, Gary, people are like, what's it? It's the discipline, right? It's the work ethic. It's everything. Those little things separate UConn and everyone else. And these freshmen get it. When you saw the scoring, when they're under pressure in the big games, when needed, right? 3 starters in that game against St. John's. And they're combining, like you said, for how many points?
75
points. Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay. 75
I lost
is
my
the
brain
number.
for a second. Yes, 75. I mean, that's impressive from a freshman class that was needed to step up immediately with the injuries coming. That's what happens this time of year, right?
Yeah.
Injuries come, and they were able to step up.
By the way, it's the first time since back February 20th of 1999 that UConn had 3 freshmen in their starting lineup. So it's been a while. And one of those freshmen, Nika Mule. And I think her start at UConn has been really interesting. Highs and lows, injured, getting chewed out by Gino. She was very emotional on the bench. But little by little, she's beginning to feel very comfortable out there. I think we see that. She had 11 points in that game against St. John's. What have you liked about Nika? And she's, little by little, beginning to make a believer out of you.
Yes, and she's grown tremendously. She got the DMP coach's decision against Tennessee, so she did not play in that game. Now, here we go, right? 4 games later, the last 4 games, she has picked it up a notch. She is an emotional player. She is a tough player. You've seen what she can do. She got her second start. I mean, this is a player that coming in, it was a little slow, like you said. You're a big Nika Mule fan. And I'm Aaliyah Edwards because I like the big girls. So you were turning me on to Nika Mule. And it was a little slow. She got the DMP. But emotional players are sometimes really good players. Her work ethic is not in question at all. It's finding her role in her spot. And I think because Paige is leading by example as a freshman, taking over, they're like, okay, now we can take over too. You're allowed to insert yourself as a freshman. But at first, you're tentative to do that. Well, now she's starting to insert herself. And like you said, with Paige, it gives Paige the opportunity to move to the 2 position if they play together, or it gives rest to Paige and she steadies the ship. So there's a lot of good, and she can knock down threes, right? 3 for 4 in the last game against St. John's. So she's making it happen, and she's cutting out a niche for herself.
I think so, and I like the versatility. As you say, Paige can play off the ball when Nika is in the game and she has the basketball in her hands. And I think it does figure that you're partial to the big Aaliyah Edwards. And as a point guard in high school, I would be partial to the point guard.
But we can all get along. We need you. The bigs need the point guards.
Yes, it works both ways. By the way, the star of that freshman class undoubtedly is Paige Beckers. We get a look at her last 3 games presented by Cadillac. Beckers had her first career double-double against DePaul and then followed it up with that career-high 32 points last time out against St. John's. And Paige spent some time with Maria Marino this week to discuss what her mentality was like on Wednesday night.
Kind of just came from all the people telling me I need to shoot more and be more aggressive and just look for my shot more. Coach told me during the game that, like, all right, you need to get like 40 or 30 this game because you can. But no, I just try to stay aggressive. And once you hit those first couple shots, and then it gives you more confidence to keep shooting the ball as well when you start hot. So I kind of just stayed in attack mode, and my teammates made it really easy for me to get those open shots.
Since you and Coach have been talking so much about being aggressive, you've averaged 27 points now over your last 3 games. Has something clicked?
The loss at Arkansas, I started the game off really unaggressive and kind of tentative and just deferring just to everybody else, and just not kind of letting the game come to me instead of me forcing the issue. And I think that loss really sparked something in me, just knowing that if I was aggressive at the start, I think we could have won that game. So I've just tried to come out and start every game aggressive and looking to attack.
And you weren't the only freshman with a career high. Aaliyah Edwards and Nika Mule as well. The freshman scored 80% of the points. What's it like to be a part of a class that can win you games right now, but is also just getting started?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think all of us aren't really scared of playing as freshmen, and we're looking to attack, and we're competitive. We work hard. But I think all of us, we don't have like a freshman mentality where we just come in and let the upperclassmen do everything for us. We try to just come in and help them and make their jobs easier by staying aggressive and just playing team basketball and doing everything that the coaching staff wants us to do and that our team needs us to do. So it's really fun just playing with them and having that same kind of mentality going into games.
Coach has described you as already leading by example. You said that he also wants you to use your voice more. Did you expect to be in this type of leadership position as a freshman?
No, he told me when I was a senior in high school that it was going to be like this, to where I had to come in and lead right away. But I never knew it was going to be like this, this much and like this much leading. But no, I think I've always loved challenges and being pushed, and that's obviously what he wants for me, to be that leader vocally. That's not always what I've done in the past, which is why it's kind of different for me. But for him to want me to do that, as being a freshman, I think that's really important for me to listen to him and do that, so it betters our team.
Do you feel like you're embracing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a learning process. Sometimes in practices I might take a couple steps back, but as long as I keep taking more steps forward than I ever do back, it's all about growing. And like I said, there's going to be ups and downs to it, but I'm just trying to get better each and every day. And that's really all I can ask of myself.
And more coming with both Maria and Paige Beckers in a little bit. She really is refreshing to listen to, very honest. And I thought it was telling. She talked about the fact that as a senior in high school, Gino came to her and said, you know what? This is what I'm expecting of you. And how rare is that for Gino to demand and really expect that out of a freshman?
It is very rare, I have to tell you, that he goes on a recruiting visit, a home visit, and says, come here, I promise you the moon, the stars, you're going to start. He actually prides himself on not being that kind of coach, because oftentimes college coaches will promise kids anything, to get them to the school. So that is very rare. Clearly, there was something very special about Paige in high school. She was already partly developed, as far as knowing the little things. He knew that she was special, but that's rare. So she is definitely one of those players that Gino knew.
You mean being on the cover of Slam magazine as a high school senior? That wasn't a tip-off that there's something special about her?
Well, no, that's not always true, okay? So you could be the leading scorer, have the most rebounds, but if you're I can't say the word on TV, bad person, and he doesn't want to recruit bad people, put it that way. If you don't have the attitude and the mentality to be a team player, he doesn't care if you're on the cover of Slam magazine or not. He needs a certain person to be a team player. And you know how rare it is to find someone like her that's humble, that's good, that scores and passes? She played so bad in that Arkansas game. Oh, I'm sorry, Paige, you only had 27 points. But she was not happy with herself. That's the point. She knows she can get better. But this is a very efficient player. I mean, the last couple of games, she's been 13 for 16 on threes. Once she came back from that ankle injury, we saw what she did against Tennessee, right? Being injured and getting it done. This is a very rare freshman.
And again, more with Paige coming up just a little bit. By the way, good news for the Huskies tonight. Kristen Williams is available after she missed Wednesday's game with that ankle injury. And Aubrey Griffin also going to be available after she limped off the court after just 2 minutes of action on Wednesday against St. John's. She's been dealing with a bad knee. So we're just getting going here on the UConn women's pregame show. We saw the Huskies use the pick and roll to perfection last time out. Kara's going to show us just why that was the case when we come back from Studio 31 in just a moment. We get a look right there. Avina Westbrook getting set to go. She's coming off a tough shooting outing on Wednesday, but she did have 7 dimes in that game for the 3rd time in the last 4 games. Let's get more on tonight's action. UConn and Marquette. Here's our crew calling the game. Alan Beswick and Meg Como from Milwaukee. Guys.
Gary, thanks. Let's start talking about tonight's game by talking about Aaliyah Edwards. Key minutes the other night in the win over St. John's. Her presence has built steadily over the course of the season, her contributions. How do you assess her progress as a freshman at this point in the year?
You know, it's a lot harder as a post player to make that adjustment from high school to college. She has done it seamlessly. She is relentless. She's so physical and strong. She plays so hard. And her best minutes, 35 minutes in that game against Seton Hall, or rather St. John's on Wednesday. She was 9 of 11 from the floor, 22 points, 9 rebounds. And the key is she stayed on the floor. She didn't get in foul trouble, and that's been the problem. She's so strong and so athletic. She's gotten into a lot of foul trouble, and that gets her on the bench. They need her on the floor, particularly tonight.
Yeah, and particularly Monday night as well. Other person they need on the floor and need making strong contributions, Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Started off the season solidly. Last 5 games or so, the numbers on the statistics sheet have slipped a little bit. What do you see with Liv?
Well, you know, she's gone like this, a little bit up and down in her career. And in the course of a season, particularly a bizarre season like the one we're in right now, you're going to have lulls. But the key is you just got to keep grinding, right? I mean, just keep working. And tonight's a perfect opportunity for her to come out, just do what she does. She doesn't have to play otherworldly. Just do what she's good at. You know, post up, score, play good defense, rebound, block some shots, make some good passes to Aaliyah Edwards. That's all she's got to do. And she just has to want to do it. And I know she does. Don't question yourself. Have confidence. Get in there and play hard.
Yeah. Well, Gary, Kara, nothing otherworldly from us tonight, but we will keep grinding, and we'll see you back here in Milwaukee in just a little bit.
All right, Alan and Meg, we thank you both very much. Let's focus in here for a moment, Kara, on Marquette. They do come in 12-2 on the season. They're a very good basketball team. They've won 6 consecutive games. It's going to be a battle tonight. What does UConn have to do to shut down this Marquette team?
This is a good Marquette team. Now they don't have a great strength of schedule, but it's a very good team. They're second in the conference in scoring, field goal percentage. They're actually really good at getting second chance opportunities and rebounding the basketball. They also have their senior scoring 6 points a game, Selena Lott. They need to shut her down. We saw in that Arkansas game, Dungy, they could not stop her, right? I think they want to make sure they don't have a repeat of that and lock down the senior guard in that position, rebound the basketball, and hey, why don't we get Olivia Nelson-Ododa involved inside? I think she could score some points and getting Kristen going. So I'd like to see, we saw a good game from the freshmen. Let's see a great game from the seniors and kind of put it together. But this will be a fun game to prepare them for South Carolina on Monday.
It should be in first place on the line of the Big East tonight. More to come here on our pregame broadcast as we're getting you set for UConn and Marquette. Straight ahead, part 2 of our conversation with the star freshman, Paige Beckers, as she tells us what would make her content with her freshman season. That and so much more on the way in just a moment. Well, there is Olivia Nelson-Ododa, the junior forward, coming off an 11.5 rebound performance on Wednesday. She was the recipient of some really nice passes as a result of the pick and roll. And I think, Kara, we saw that pick and roll work to perfection against St. John's. Let's focus in a little bit on that, because when it's done and executed properly, we talk about the fact that it's a thing of beauty, and basketball is really a ballet on the floor, and they executed it so well. Why do they do it so well, and how do they do it so well?
Well, it's basic old school basketball, right? So You have to do a few things when you do the pick and roll. You have to make sure you make yourself big. You don't bump into somebody. You have to let your guard or your other person come off you. You have to do a good job of bringing someone down and then around that screen. So pick and rolls are old school, and you're capable, even if you're not talented, right, of doing a pick and roll. But it takes discipline and attention to detail. And you see UConn on this. First Paige Beckers takes it down. Olivia Nelson-Dota sets a fabulous first screen. Then she posts up, which you like to see. And then what I love, Paige Beckers calls her out and says, come on, big girl, set a screen for me. Sets a perfect screen. The defender gets caught behind it. And then you have two people going, uh-oh, Paige Beckers has the ball. I better go to her. Olivia Nelson-Dota rolls to the basket with that hand up high, and Paige Beckers hits her perfectly. But if you notice, there have been a lot of double screens as far as two screens happening before the other. Mir McLean, at this point, she sets a screen on one side and then comes over and sets a screen for Nika Mule, reads that perfectly, and gets all the way to the basket. So the problem with UConn is they have so many weapons, right, and so much depth. It's pick your poison. Who are you going to guard? So I think a pick and roll works really well for this team because they have so many people that can score. And defensively, it's hard to guard a pick and roll unless you're really smart, unless you're working together as a team, because sometimes they start fighting. Like teammates go, wait, I was supposed to go under. No, you're supposed to go over. So it sounds like a simple concept, right? But it's hard to defend, especially if you don't communicate well as a team. And I got to tell you, if I got hit with a screen and my teammate didn't call it out, that's a bad thing. So it takes a lot of good communication on the defensive end. So it's been very effective.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get on your bad side, Karen.
No,
that we know.
You got to call out, right? You play.
Absolutely.
If you get hit with the screen and your teammate doesn't tell you it's coming?
Yes, and a lot of times, a lot of people think UConn just has the best talent, and that's why they win. Bottom line is they're so well coached, and they execute so perfectly, and that's the reason they've won 11 national championships, including yours back in 1995. More to come here on our pregame broadcast. Part 2 of our discussion with Paige Beckers is on the way. How does she view the signature moment of her UConn career to this point? That game-sealing three-pointer against Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. She'll let us know when we come right back. Look right now at UConn's upcoming schedule, presented by Town Fair Tire, and the big one circled on the Huskies schedule coming up on Monday night, going to face off against the second-ranked team in the nation, that is South Carolina, and then they're back here on SNY next Wednesday against the Pirates of Seton Hall. So Paige Beckers, she has lived up to the hype in her freshman year, and then so much more, and no moment standing out more than that night in Knoxville a couple of weeks ago after she left with the ankle injury. Beckers returned to the court and then knocked down that three-pointer with under 30 seconds to go, and it sealed the victory for UConn. And in part 2 of our interview, Paige told our Maria Marino if she knew whether she would even get back on the floor that night against Tennessee.
I didn't even want to come out of the game when he took me out. I was pretty upset, but I knew I had to go back in. I didn't really give him a choice. I told him, no, you have to put me back in. But no, it was crazy because I couldn't throw a rock into the pond the whole game. I couldn't make any shots. But my teammates, they kept me positive. They told me, you hit these shots every day in practice. We see you make them all the time. Don't ever stop shooting just because you're missing. The next one's going to go in. So, and coach told me that as well. So just them having that positive voice in my ear, it made me shoot that shot with confidence. It made it a lot easier for me to shoot it and think it's going in.
You're someone who plays with a lot of emotion. That much is clear, whether there's a crowd or not. How do you maintain that energy, and has it been a challenge for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's also knowing that we don't have a crowd is why I need to bring energy, just being a voice on the team. And I think when we play with passion and we play with energy, it's a lot more fun and we get a lot more out of it. If we're all some of the slow starts have been no energy, we're just no enthusiasm when we're playing. So coach has been on us at practice about that too, just playing with more passion and more joy, because it makes the game more fun and it makes it a lot easier. So just knowing that, I've just tried to stay on top of that part of the game.
There have been so many challenges this season, but has your UConn experience so far lived up to what you hoped it would be?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Obviously, missing the crowd part. Me and Nika were sitting on the bench the other day when we were getting announced to start, and we were like, dang, this would be awesome if we had fans. But no, everything else is just amazing. Just the whole experience in itself, being a part of what makes I mean, UConn, the program that it is, it speaks for itself every day in practice and off the court as well. Just the sort of professional things we have to do. I mean, they demand excellence in everything that we do. So I knew that coming in, but just living it is so much better.
You strike me as someone who has very high standards and who is not easily satisfied. What will it take for you to be content with where you are as a player and as a team?
A national championship at the end of the year. And coach just, I mean, I know what he says means a whole lot to me, and he always speaks of high intelligence. So if he's saying that I'm improving and I'm getting better at things, and I know that he's telling the truth, and I'm getting better at things. But until he has nothing left to complain about and argue about with me, I will be unsatisfied. And same with our team goals. He always wants us to get better at things, and perfection is really impossible. So you're always striving to get there.
All right, so there's a freshman talking about winning a national championship. Does that remind you of anybody?
A little bit, right? Of Brianna Stewart, just
right?
A little bit. I mean, this kid, just the work ethic, the similarities. And Gino said, you know, some kids have to wait for the game to come to them. She needs to go get the game. And he said the same thing about Stewie, about going to the game. And those two, they talk alike, too. I feel like their voices alike, but there's so many similarities.
We're closing in on tip-off between the top two teams in the Big East, UConn and Marquette. And we're back with the UConn starting lineup in just a moment. So here we go. UConn starting lineup brought to you by Yale New Haven Health, and Kristen Williams is back in there. Don't forget she missed Wednesday's game with the bad ankle, but she's in, and Nika Mule gets the start again for the Huskies. So Kara and I go to see you back at the half right now. It is the battle for first place in the Big East, UConn and Marquette. Enjoy the action right here on SNY.
The statue of the Hall of Famer Al McGuire standing guard over the entrance to the building that's named for him, Al McGuire Center, where the UConn women's basketball team plays tonight for the first time since 2013. It's UConn and Marquette tipping off in just moments. It's a big one, too. It's a game for first place in the Big East. UConn 10-0 in the conference, but Marquette just one game behind them. Big matchup tonight, the first of two remaining in the season between these two squads. And hi, everybody, from Milwaukee with Megan Culmo. I'm Alan Bestwick. First, the good news. UConn will be at full strength tonight. Anna Makarat's still out, but both Kristen Williams and Aubrey Griffin expected to play. Of course, the headliner on this team is the fabulous freshman, Paige Beckers, led the way against St. John's on Wednesday night. Her presence and her impact on this team just continues to grow.
It's pretty incredible for a freshman to play with this kind of maturity and calm and leadership. You know, Gino has always put a lot of emphasis on you got to have a good point guard, you know, and he's never had a freshman point guard that he has counted on and demanded so much of, but he only demands what he thinks these players can give. And this young lady has given in buckets already. The transformation that I have noticed over the last couple games, it's her leadership, her telling her teammates where to go. Watch this, pointing out, like, look, set the screen there, and then she comes off another screen and knocks it in. She is understanding the game. She's the best three-point shooter in the country, and her pull-up is as good as anybody's. And it's frightening to think that she's just a freshman.
Yeah, it's been tremendous to watch, and there's a lot more still to come. She and the rest of her teammates will need to play well tonight. This Marquette team, Gino Auriemma described as they do what they do really well, and it's a good challenge for his team. What does Marquette do that they do so well?
You know, they do a lot really, really well. They have a terrific young coach in Megan Duffy. This is her second season, Big East Coach of the Year last year. What I love about these guys is they're disciplined, they're physical, and they all play their roles, right? They know what they're supposed to do, and they look to their senior, Selena Lott. She is a terrific player. She's become more of a scorer this year. She was a defensive stopper early in her career, and Megan Duffy and her staff said, listen, honey, we need you to step up and be a scorer, and she has embraced that role and is leading them in scoring, and they're going to need her to score big here tonight.
Yep, she's had a little bit of a slump the last 2 games, but Lott and the rest of her teammates face their biggest challenge of the season tonight. Because UConn's in town. The Huskies looking to remain unbeaten in Big East play and keep the roll going in conference action so far this season. The tip-off between UConn and Marquette is next on SNY. If you're watching tonight's game, be sure and tag your photos on social media with the hashtag #BleedBlue. Even though you can't be in the stands this season, we want to see UConn Nation cheering on the Huskies tonight from here in Milwaukee. Teams on the floor, starting lineups tonight are presented by Subaru. Same starting 5 as every game this season for Marquette on the right. On the left, with the return of Kristen Williams, Aaliyah Edwards goes out of the starting 5. Nika Mule stays in. And with that, we are ready to go from Milwaukee. UConn in the road national flag blues. Marquette in the home whites with the blue and gold trim. And this game for first place in the Big East has Marquette winning the tip. #23 is Jordan King. She's going to facilitate in this opening possession. Inside, that's Cameron Taylor with the nice up and in.
Nice finish. Even against a double team, Westbrook came over to double. It's critical for Marquette to score early.
They have to make their shots. They know that. Ten to shoot. Mule drives, gets bumped, doesn't get a call.
I thought there was some contact, that there could have been a whistle there.
King over Beckers, way off the top. Rebound gets tapped outside. They'll get a reset. Murata inside to Taylor. No. Rebound again for Marquette. Ball on the floor.
Marquette is relentless on the boards.
Tied up ball as we look at Gino Auriemma. He is 9-0 in his previous contests against Marquette, looking to remain perfect in this 10th meeting between the teams, and of course looking for a career win 1,104.
Looking pretty mellow over there, isn't he?
I noticed that last game too. First quarter or so, he was kind of just taking it all in.
He complains about the slow start.
There's Beckers. Had to get a handle on it.
Yeah, it almost looked like a walk. Megan Duffy is screaming that at the officials.
No call. Bucket counts. 42 is Lauren Van Clunen, one of the senior leaders for Marquette. There's King driving, kick out. Murata taken away by Mule. Another steal for Nika. Feeds Kristen Williams, catches up to it, gets the foul and the bucket.
That was a tough finish there while getting fouled by the junior. Nice active hands by Nika Mule. And then just a great job by Williams running the floor. Your teammate will find you.
So Chloe Murata picks up the first foul, and Kristen Williams will try to add the bonus. And cannot.
UConn has not been a good free throw shooting team this year.
Good defense there by Mule to get into position. And Westbrook intercepts the pass that tried to get into the paint. Kristen Williams will take an extra step.
That's a walk.
Now there's Megan Duffy, former player for Notre Dame. She's in her second year leading this program in Milwaukee for Marquette. Did a great job at Miami of Ohio in her first head coaching stint. And took this team a season ago to a solid record.
Yeah, they were picked to finish 9th, and they finished 2nd.
24-8, 13-5 in the conference.
Made it to the Big East tournament final game, lost to DePaul, but she'll have a great career there.
There's Lott's first touch. No aggressive rebound by Taylor, but she fell to the floor and her feet moved. That's a turnover on a travel.
Well, that's what you see Marquette. They are on the offensive glass. They're relentless. UConn will really be tested with everyone boxing out. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if some guards on the UConn team, ended up getting a lot more rebounds here tonight. They've got to come down and help.
4-1 rebounds to Marquette's favor, though it's very early in the ballgame. Nelson Adota finds Westbrook in the corner. Got it. Good way to start for Avina after having a tough shooting night Wednesday against St. John's. 5-point UConn lead. Nelson Adota couldn't get the steal. Here's Van Clunen. King inside, up and in. Good play inside by Murata.
That Murata got the ball exactly where she wanted. Great use of her body.
Beckers with the kick. Westbrook drives. Tried to kick outside with the pass. Errant. Missed Nelson Adota. Turnover UConn.
The key for Marquette is, and Megan Duffy told us this last night, they need to believe, right? They need to believe that they can win. And they're playing great right now. Avina Westbrook looked a little indecisive there. You've got to take the ball and drive, looking to score. Don't go in there looking to pass.
Lott left all alone. Selena Lott has struggled in her last 2 games shooting the ball.
Yeah, they need to knock down those shots.
Beckers tried to force a pass into Westbrook. Intercepted. Outlet pass to Van Clunen. Too far under the basket before she got the ball.
What a catch, though, by Van Clunen.
Good kick by Beckers.
And why didn't Mule shoot that ball?
Westbrook did. No. Westbrook got a hand on the pass, knocked it out of bounds, but then it went back off the Marquette player and out of bounds.
Just a savvy play there by Westbrook. Nice anticipation. And UConn got a fortuitous bounce off of Marquette.
Have to be impressed with the aggressiveness of the Husky defense so far. The steals, the anticipating passes. Nelson Adota tried to get it into Kristen Williams. It was knocked away, out of bounds. It'll be Marquette ball.
You hear the energy by Marquette. You know, you can hear it in this quiet arena. They are vocal.
Yep.
And that's the energy that Megan Duffy, first of all, she brings that herself, and that's what she wants these kids to play with, and they're doing it early.
Nelson Adota got a hand on the pass coming in. Out of bounds, though, off UConn. Marquette ball, 19 to shoot. Well, interesting that Selena Lott has only had 1 touch so far. Mule just got tangled up inside, and there's going to be a foul called.
This is going to be a physical game.
That's going to be on Nika.
This is where both teams, but particularly UConn, you got to use your head. Don't get caught up in too much physicality.
5 seconds. Good defense by UConn on the inbounds play.
It's funny, right after I said that, I saw Van Clunen for Marquette, like, set a screen and use a little arm, little elbow sticking out. Poise is going to be the name of the game.
Gino said that part of Marquette's style is physicality, and his team is going to have to be up to that challenge tonight. Nelson Adota sets the screen for Westbrook. She rolls, gets the pass in the bucket.
That was pretty. And they worked on that a lot today, that pick and roll hard to the basket.
5-point UConn lead. Marquette shooting just 28% in this opening period so far. Good feed in to King from Lott.
Terrific execution by Marquette.
Halfway through quarter number 1 already. Kristen Williams with the left hand. Foul called. That's going to be a charge on UConn.
They didn't know what to call. It took a few seconds to come up with that one. I'm not so sure.
2 of the officials looked at each other. Both wanted to make sure they were calling the same thing. No need to make a call there. Slick pass from Westbrook to Nelson Adota. Hey, join us at Gamble, or have your fan cutout join us at Gamble anyway this season, part of the Bleed Blue campaign for UConn basketball. For more information on how to get your fan cutout into the building, visit UConnHuskies.com. Halfway through quarter number 1 here in Milwaukee, 3-point UConn lead. Marquette will have the ball after Kristen Williams called for the charge.
Well, and the first go-around, you know, the refs took so long to call it. I wasn't so sure, but she got there. So that's okay. I'm okay with that call.
Little curiosity about her Chloe Morata's left foot being on that restricted arc, but Kristen Williams picks up the foul. Of course, Kristen back in the lineup after missing the game against St. John's on Wednesday. Interesting numbers early on in this game. 5 turnovers apiece for the two teams, but UConn's got 7 points off of Marquette's turnovers. And the Golden Eagles have none off of UConn's turnovers. Pass thrown away by King, turnover. And now we'll see if the Huskies can get some more points off turnovers here.
Marquette does a pretty good job of taking care of the basketball typically, but certainly in a game like this, they can't have those kinds of turnovers.
Taylor Valladay into the ball game for Marquette. That shot misses the mark. Here she has the ball and runs. King over Kristen Williams. No. Rebound Nelson Adota.
Good hands there by Nelson Adota to come up with that ball. That's why you got to keep your hands up all the time.
Nelson Adota thought about it. Hit a cutting Westbrook, and that.
Yeah, you can't sell that as a charge.
That will be a block.
A little bit more aggressive cutting to the basketball. Look at that nice back cut by Westbrook. Defense just wasn't there quickly enough.
And inside that semicircle. So here's Savina Westbrook. Mentioned the other night, had kind of a struggle against St. John's from shooting. Was only 1 for 9 from the floor and 0 for 6 from 3, but she drew 4 fouls. She was 6 for 6 from the free throw line and had 3 steals. So it's kind of Gino's thing, you know, when your shot's not falling, find other ways to impact the game.
Yeah, exactly. And you had Beckers, you know, had 32. Aaliyah Edwards had 22. So, you know, some nights you don't necessarily have to score a lot, but as you indicated, you can do a lot of other things to help your team win.
She was 2 for 2 from the stripe there. Van Clunen left alone for a second. Tries to float it inside to Murata. Murata missed the layup. Gets it back. Block. Handed the ball by Westbrook. 3rd try. Now 4th try for Marquette.
I mean, how about the effort by Marquette? And what's UConn doing? Everyone's just turning and looking up. You got to get inside position and push back. Give credit to Murata. I mean, I love how quickly. Watch, she catches it and immediately shoots it.
Didn't stop moving.
I mean, just kept the ball in the air. I mean, they do so many great old school things.
And there's Van Clunen. She had the arm bar out, but got away with it.
Well, that's a tough move. I mean, that's an unstoppable play in the low post. The 6'2" redshirt senior.
Mule cuts. Cut off. Feeds Kristen Williams.
Terrific movement without the ball there by Williams.
5-point UConn lead. There's Valladay with the ball. King. Kristen Williams staying aggressively with her. Here's Beckers and Valladay. Cut off by Nelson Adota. Shot clock down to 5 seconds. Lott gives it up. Valladay has it. Will throw up a ball. That's off the mark, but the rebound goes over the top of Nelson Adota. And it's going to be a foul called on the floor on Olivia.
So the previous possession, watch this. Kristen Williams is right here, okay? Now you got to move without the basketball. Watch. Mule gets it down here. Okay, what do I do? Perfect decision there by Kristen Williams. Wide open lane. Really nice movement without the ball. See, it's going to get chippy. This is what's going to happen, and this is where why I said earlier, UConn has to maintain poise. Marquette's really physical, and you can't get caught up in it.
So that one on Savina Westbrook, her first. And Clunen, yes.
Yeah, see, she's added that to her game. She's a force down low, but that just makes her such a threat to be able to knock down the 15-footer.
Gino quickly waving Aaliyah Edwards up to check into the ball game. Kristen Williams.
Got away with a walk.
And got a bucket. Good start for Kristen.
Yeah, that ankle looks fine that she tweaked the other day at shoot-around in the St. John's game.
3 of 3 from the floor so far. Shot taken from outside by Taylor, missed. Nika Mule in there fighting for the ball.
Not sure why she didn't shoot that.
Beckers shoots that one.
Sometimes you just got to get the feel. But that's only 3 shots for her in this first quarter.
So both teams' most prolific scorers not terribly involved in their offense in this opening quarter. Beckers and Lott, who has the ball here, being well guarded by Mule despite some tough hits in the screens. Taylor inside over Westbrook, who just kept her arms straight up and got scored over.
Yeah, Cameron Taylor is a tough 4, 6'2" in that low post. They have more tall bodies along that front line.
Mule gets rewarded with a nice aggressive cut and a bucket.
Terrific cut, but I love the pass from the high post from Olivia Nelson-Ododa.
Inside a minute to go in this opening quarter. 7-point lead for UConn. Ball thrown away as Lott attempted to find a way to cut through the lane. And now into the ball game for UConn. Aaliyah Edwards will get Olivia Nelson-Ododa, and Claire Cafez will come into the ball game for Marquette and spell Jordan King. There is Cafez, 5'11" sophomore from Shawnee, Kansas. Edwards sets a screen. Beckers kicks back to Mule. She'll fire. Didn't get that one to fall.
That's a good aggressive take. It's such a smart move in transition. When the defense is not set, that's when you take it to the basket. Because they don't quite know what's going on. They're trying to get back. They're trying to find their player. And that's typically what will happen. A foul will be committed.
So the foul on Beckers. Chloe Murata comes back into the ballgame for Van Clunen. And at the free throw line is Taylor Valladay, whose minutes are up significantly from her freshman to sophomore seasons. Played about 4 minutes a game a year ago, up to almost 18 minutes a game now as she becomes a regular part of Megan Duffy's rotation. Connects on the free throws there. Shot clock is off down to the final 20 seconds of this opening quarter in Milwaukee. Beckers guarded by Lott. Gives it to Westbrook. 10. Williams cuts. Nice play.
That was really good recognition and a terrific pass from Westbrook. But what a cut by Williams.
Long range try by Taylor Valladay falls well short, and we reach the end of this first quarter. 7-point advantage for UConn. Kristen Williams is the leading scorer for the Huskies. 4 of 4 from the floor. Very aggressive take to the rim there. Seven-point ball game in this fight for first place in the Big East. UConn up 21-14 on Marquette as we get ready for the start of the second quarter. And now a look at Como's Court Vision, brought to you by Yale New Haven Health.
So we talked about the play of Marquette. Okay, now watch this play. You see there, Olivia Nelson-Ododa and Van Clunen gets the ball, right? So Van Clunen is a really good offensive player. Great footwork there, but you got to take that extra step, Olivia. It wasn't enough to stop her once. You got to stop her a second time. Now there's Avina Westbrook, right? And Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Now watch, Westbrook's kid gets the ball. Now, Ododa's player is here, right? Well, the ball is here. So, yeah, if the ball gets kicked out to your player, then you got to watch. But she could have doubled on Avina. You know, go help your guard down in that low post. That's where that indecision can hurt you.
So Nelson-Ododa will begin this second quarter on the bench. Aaliyah Edwards will be in the ball game as she concluded quarter number 1. Same 5 on the floor for UConn that finished that first quarter. Kristen Williams, Nika Mule, Avina Westbrook, Paige Beckers out there with Edwards. Interesting, 7-0 offensive rebounds for Marquette.
Yeah, they're relentless on the boards.
Huskies shot almost 70% in the first quarter. Taylor, that shot got blocked, and there's contact underneath. That's going to be a foul on, who's that, Murata?
Yeah, she just came in and knocked over Paige Beckers. I mean, check it out. You could see her right there. Yeah, that's where she just banged into her.
And so that is Murata's second foul, and she goes to the bench.
But UConn has to do a better job. And they're starting to, but they've got to look and find a white jersey and box out as soon as the shot goes up.
9 assists on 9 made field goals in that opening quarter for the Huskies. Aaliyah Edwards couldn't handle the pass. It bounced through to Kristen Williams. UConn gets a second chance. Mule. No.
Nice box out that time by Marquette. Van Clunen did a terrific job on Edwards.
Started to say UConn shot almost 70% in the first quarter. Marquette, though, just 30%. Van Clunen got away from Kristen Williams.
Terrific pass, terrific execution. And I just love how quickly they catch and shoot in that low post.
Beckers out to Mule. Waited. Fires to Kristen Williams. Edwards. Oh, went right through her hands.
That's the second pass Edwards struggled with. Terrific, terrific look by Nika Mule. I mean, the no look. Edwards is typically more reliable on the run, catching passes.
Something that UConn worked on a lot at today's morning shoot-around was setting those screens, making those aggressive cuts to the basket.
It's funny, I haven't seen it happen a ton. It happened that time. It is fascinating what you work on in practice, and then does it actually get executed in the game? Not always.
From the corner, Capez blocked by Kristen Williams. Hands on the ball. Beckers on the run out. The big Euro step up and in off the glass.
I don't know if that's what she envisioned in her mind when she caught that ball, but she'll take it.
And Van Clunen tried to inbound it, went off a foot. It'll stay with Marquette.
I mean, she lost the handle a little bit, but had the presence of mind and the upper body strength. You saw her shake her head a little bit.
Little improvising there, a little ad-libbing.
You got to do what you got to do.
Sometimes the script doesn't always go off as you think. Olivia Nelson-Ododa back into the ball game, and Aaliyah Edwards back to the bench for the Huskies. Here's Lott. Tries to get away from Mule, but doesn't shoot. Now King does from the free throw line. That's off the mark. What a rebound, but a little too aggressive over the back. Called on Taylor.
Look, Kristen Williams, give her the credit. Terrific inside position. Watch her right here. See? She got inside position, boxed out. The refs have to call that.
That is, I believe, the first foul on Taylor in the ballgame. 7-point Husky lead. Beckers created a little space, couldn't get the shot to fall, and there was no one underneath for the rebound at all.
She's not looking aggressive offensively. I think UConn will need her to think shot more than she's doing early on.
Lott off the screen. Westbrook switches onto her. Lott goes in with the left hand and gets it to go.
What a nice take by Selena Lott.
Senior from Troy, New York, in the Albany area, leading this team in a lot of categories. There's Westbrook. No. Nelson-Ododa gets the rebound. Westbrook cuts. Nice.
Nice finish by Westbrook. She got held, too, as she was trying to cut through the lane.
Nelson-Ododa gets a hand on the pass and was knocked out of bounds by a Marquette player.
Watch, see Avina Westbrook up here. See, the kid grabbed her.
Yeah.
But I really like how UConn is being aggressive, attacking those open holes in the middle of the lane.
So Westbrook to the bench, Edwards back into the ball game. There's Beckers, feeds a wide open Nelson-Ododa.
Perfect pass.
Beckers tried to steal the pass, knocked it out of bounds. It'll be 18 to shoot for Marquette. You know, you're talking about Beckers needing to be a little more aggressive, but she's being defended by Lott, their best defender.
A great defender. So I would expect Lott to maybe be less of an offensive weapon for them tonight.
There's Lott aggressively to the rim, but threw it over everything. Nelson Adota sets a screen. Williams will take advantage. Too strong with the shot. Set play being run here by Marquette.
Lot not looking to score.
Shot clock down to 6. Valladay, no. Nelson Adota fights off Van Clunen for the rebound.
He had a nice box out by Nelson Adota. It was a good defensive stand by UConn.
Nelson Adota gets turned around. Can't drop the shot.
UConn not looking real aggressive down in that low post.
Good energy on defense there by Mule. Nelson Adota on the floor, tied up ball. That should stay with, that'll be with UConn.
Nika Mule did it all here. Really good defense, just active. The kid is everywhere all the time. Nice job by Nelson Adota jumping down on the floor. Both teams hustling, diving for loose balls.
So Kristen Williams will head to the bench for a breather. Avina Westbrook comes back into the game for UConn. Almost halfway through quarter number 2. And a 9-point game here in Milwaukee. That's how many degrees Fahrenheit it was outside today, by the way, in Milwaukee. 9.
So cold.
Ugh. Becker's got cut off by Lott, but Edwards moved and will draw the foul. Cameron Taylor will be called for her second foul, and we will call a timeout. Halfway through quarter number 2, Huskies out in front. Nine-point game here in Milwaukee with UConn and Marquette squaring off tonight. Always look forward to hearing what Gary Apple and Kara Walters have to say with the first half highlights and analysis on the UConn Women's Basketball Halftime Show. It's presented by Ford. It's coming up in just a little while. Paige Beckers, we talked about being defended by Marquette's best defender. Here's a look.
Well, here you see the screen by Olivia Nelson-Ododo so Paige can cut up, okay? So watch, you talk about someone who commands a lot of respect. She catches the ball. Look, everyone is coming and looking at her because they know that she's a scorer, okay? Then what happens? They all come to her. Nelson-Ododo wide open, down low. Terrific pass. Keeps her head up. Sees the floor, sees all the white jerseys coming at her, finds her open teammate.
The numbers on Paige in this game so far. Well, Megan Duffy's team, she told us we had a very delightful conversation with her for about, almost an hour last night, it felt like. And really insightful look at her team and what it was going to take to win this game. One of the things that she said they needed to do was make their shots. Well, they're not making their shots.
Well, and UConn makes it difficult on you, right? I mean, UConn, as much as Gino's not thrilled with their defense, Megan Duffy knows, having played at Notre Dame, played against UConn for her career, she knows what they're like defensively, and they are a very, very tough defensive team.
Second chance as Nelson Adota got the rebound off the free throw miss by Edwards. Everybody was attracted to Beckers.
Well, and someone fell there by Marquette. They had a little lack of communication. Nice job finding Aaliyah Edwards wide open down low.
Inside, here is Van Clunen trying to work on Nelson Adota, see if she can get maybe a draw foul. Instead, she floats the bucket.
That's a focus in there to get the ball. If you've noticed, they've dumped the ball down to Van Clunen quite a bit here in the first half. She's a tough matchup.
Nelson Adota sets the screen for Beckers. Westbrook, Edwards looked away from the ball, and it went behind her out of bounds.
So Van Clunen is such a strong presence. Look, it's one-on-one, nice poise, and then that little jump hook, you can't block that. That is just a perfectly executed jump hook. Very old school. I love it.
Westbrook now on Lott. Almost traveled. Managed to hang on to that pivot foot. There is Murata. Shot off the mark. Nika Mule with a rebound and a run.
Nika should have looked to shoot the ball.
Beckers fires. That's 3.
That's never a bad choice, though, giving it to Beckers.
Yep.
But nobody was on Nika Mule. But even as a freshman, she's pretty smart. She knows who to get the ball to.
Lead up to 13 for UConn, and you see Marquette not having success behind the three-point line. Another steal for Mule.
Nice active hands by Mule.
Bring the ball with you, Paige.
What I'm noticing is UConn being a little indecisive. When they have open shots, they're not taking them.
Nelson-Ododa misses on the long try, and it goes out of bounds off Aaliyah Edwards, and a turnover to Marquette. So under 3 minutes to go here in this opening half. Selena Lott, leading scorer for Marquette, has just 2 points, 1 of 4 in this first half. There is Van Clunen from out by the free throw line, beyond it, and rattled around and out. Beckers from way outside, no. Fight underneath, that's going to be on Edwards.
Van Clunen did a good job. I mean, they were just both fighting for position.
So Marquette ball for Aaliyah Edwards. That is her first foul. Van Clunen is the leading scorer for Marquette in this game. Mule with another steal. Tries to get the run out. Got going too fast. Couldn't control herself. And she's going to get called for swinging a leg.
I mean, it's too bad, right?
Yeah.
And in the passing lane steal, it just lost the balance. Did she really try to kick her?
Maybe just tripped.
It's hard to tell.
Bit.
To me,
Yeah.
it's rather inconclusive.
But it is Nika's second foul and will earn her a spot on the bench for these final 2 minutes of quarter number 2. She's been a factor in this game.
She's been very effective. And the UConn coaching staff jumped up because they thought Aaliyah Edwards got fouled.
Shot from outside, did everything but go down for Liza Carlin into the ball game for Marquette, one of the freshmen on this squad. Beckers, you're kidding me.
Beautiful play by Beckers. The soft touch got the home court roll on the road.
And calls for a timeout by Marquette as UConn's lead grows to 15. 11 points for Beckers.
You see the fast break here. Avina knew where Beckers was, and you know, she got herself committed, and in a situation like that, if you get committed up in the air, you better find a way to make that shot go in.
That's just, I mean, that goes on the highlight reels, right?
It sure does.
Yeah. Another stellar game for the fabulous freshman. For Nika Mule, I mean, this young crop of players for UConn, as we've turned into February, is showing us so much.
Yeah, they really are, and obviously Beckers is having a solid first half, and I think she's actually been a little passive offensively. The entire team is, but you know, Gino's talked about their slow starts, and you know, sometimes they just gotta feel the rhythm and find the rhythm within the context of the game, and then they get rolling.
Pass thrown away, barely saved from an over and back violation, but turned over. Edwards. Wow.
How about that finish by the freshman? What control of her body. It's not an easy play on the run.
It's a 14-2 run by UConn.
Better footwork there by Nelson-Ododa.
Carlin from the corner, no, but Murata was right there for the errant shot.
Murata is just everywhere. Such a hard-nosed, scrappy kid.
So under a minute to go. Nice feed from Westbrook to Nelson Adota.
Really good catch by Nelson Adota. Just reached up, grabbed the ball, and then just quickly finished.
No. Good position by Nelson Adota for the rebound on the miss. Shot clock off. Down to the final 15 seconds of this opening half here in Milwaukee. Beckers will get the final shot of the half and drain it.
She is money with that pull-up jumper.
Well, after, I guess we'd call it a slower start, maybe. Paige Beckers really got going in the second quarter.
Yeah, coming off of those two screens, she does a really good job of reading the defense and then finding the open spot and finishing.
So UConn in this first half shoots 62% from the floor, opens up a 19-point lead on Marquette going to the locker room, and the head coach joins us now from down in courtside, Meg.
Gino, you talked about before the game how disciplined and how physical Marquette is. Did they present as you thought they would?
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, you saw that one possession where the one kid, I think, got 4 or 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
But since that point, since that particular play, I think we've been more physical than them in the lane. And we've rebounded the ball better at this end. They've gotten out in transition a little bit more. And, you know, we're running our offense really well. And I can't say enough about how well we're playing at this point, especially defensively. I mean, you know, these guys are averaging, what, 80 or something like that?
74, yeah.
74. And, you know, to hold them to 22. That's a great defensive half for us, and you know, we just got to keep the ball moving. When we keep the ball moving, you know, that's when we're at our best, and we've made some really good reads on offense.
How about the play of Nika Mule? She's just so scrappy out there.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like her in the lineup. You know, she doesn't back off to anybody. She doesn't back up. She just goes out there and tries to make something happen every possession.
She doesn't back off you either.
No. You know, I asked her actually when she came out, I asked her, who should I put in? I'm going to let her coach from now on instead of me.
Coach, thanks.
All right.
Gino Horiyama with us, and our interview with the head coach presented by PC Richard & Son. UConn closes the second quarter on an 18-4 run over the last 7.5 minutes of this ball game. Halftime show is next. 41-22 Huskies in Milwaukee.
It is the UConn Halftime Report. It's brought to you by your local Ford stores. Gary Apple back alongside my broadcast partner, Carol Walters, back inside Studio 31 here in New York City. UConn leads 41-22 at the break. They've got 17 assists on 18 made baskets. Yep. What does that tell you, Kara?
They are sharing the basketball extremely well. That's what it tells you, Gary, right? They're finding it in the right spots. If you have somebody like Paige Beckers on your team, she's going to get a lot of attention, right? So everyone comes to her, and she dishes the basketball. No wonder she has so many assists, right? The word is out. Paige Beckers can shoot. So you do a pick and roll with Paige, you are bound to get open. But the whole team has been really patient on offense. Gino said some really nice things at halftime. He's pleased. Early on, they didn't rebound the ball particularly well. They didn't have as much fight. But to clear out that half, they were just fantastic with a lot of fight and sharing the basketball.
And as Gino said on his way off the court there, speaking to Alan and Meg, he likes what he's seeing defensively, right? They held Marquette to 30% shooting in that first half. And again, they lead it by 19 at the break. So Kara and I just getting going here on the halftime show. More to come, including the return of Kristen Williams to the lineup. She had a solid first quarter, and just Paige Beckers being Paige Beckers. Back in a moment. Here we go. First half stats. They are brought to you by our local Ford stores as the battle for first place in the Big East is led by UConn at the half, 41-22 over Marquette. UConn shooting it really well, 62% in the first half, and they forced 12 turnovers by Marquette. When we come back, I want to take a look at what was a tremendous first half for Paige Beckers, including something we really have not seen in her repertoire before. We're back in a gym. So UConn leads it by 19 at the half. Here we go. Your first half leaders presented by your local Ford stores. Paige Beckers leads everybody in the game. She's got 13 so far. She's averaging just over 20 on the season. And I think late in the half, we saw Paige take the ball to the bucket and just show the trickery, the number of moves that she has that just are, right, the breathtaking array of shots that she can bring to the courts.
And every time we try to talk about someone else, Paige Beckers, there she goes. Look at that, the reverse layup and the switch of hands. We got to see that again, Gary.
Man.
Beautiful. Everyone in high school right now is so grateful that she's no longer in high school because that girl, I mean, how many bags in her trick does she have for a youngin'?
You meant tricks in the bag.
How many bags in the trick? Tricks in the bag. You know what I meant.
But when she can do those sorts of things, the defense has no idea, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Well, that's why she also gets the assist. You have to guard her anywhere she is.
Second half on the way. Karen and I will see you on the post-game show when it's over. Enjoy.
19-point ball game here at the Al-McGuire Center in Milwaukee. Huskies up 41-22 on Marquette as we get set to start the third quarter. With Megan Como, I'm Alan Bestwick. Well, Gino Auriemma said kind of something we don't necessarily hear from him going to the locker room at halftime. He was really pleased with both ends of the floor and his team's performance in that first half.
When have we heard him like positive and jovial in an interview like that? Not often, but you know, he was pleased with his kids, and I think, you know, defensively they did some good things, but the way they turned defense into offense and the way they shared the ball in that first half was really incredible. To have 17 assists on 18 field goals, they cut hard to the basket, they were aggressive. They were really in sync with each other, too. Like, they knew what they were doing. Well, how about that great pass from Beckers?
Yeah.
I mean, they were really locked in offensively with what they wanted to do, how they wanted to attack. And they did a really good job of reading the defense and taking what was given to them.
And so the third quarter begins with Marquette in the home whites trying to find a way to get something going. They were outscored 20-8 in quarter number 2 by the Huskies. King cut off. Into the paint. Van Coonen was cut off. King gets back in the action and gets the bucket.
Really nice job by Marquette, just staying persistent. I thought Nika Mule was going to come up with the steal. Just good persistence by Marquette.
Beckers, Nelson Adoto, Williams, Mule, and Westbrook, the 5 on the floor for the Huskies. Kristen Williams. That was great.
Yeah, what a smart take by Williams. Had the quick first step. The lefty went to her right with confidence.
Murata's pass blocked. Here come the Huskies on the turnover. Beckers for 3.
You know, she wasn't coming off screens and turning the corner like that to catch the ball in the first half, looking to shoot. That time she knew she was going to shoot when she caught it, and Megan Duffy has to call a timeout.
A quick timeout by the Marquette head coach as UConn comes out, gets a couple of defensive stops, and adds to their advantage. Husky lead up to 22 early in this third quarter, forcing the Marquette timeout.
You know, it's the little things that you see the screen that Nika Mule sets for Paige Beckers. Those are ways you can impact the game. The ball goes over. Look, see, she sets that screen and frees up Beckers to be wide open. Those are ways that you can help your team. That'll never show up in the stat sheet, but Nika Mule, she does whatever it takes. She's a scrappy player.
And just 2 points in the game for Nika, but 4 steals, 4 assists, and numerous screens. By the way, that 4 steals equals her season high that she set just on Wednesday against St. John's. Nelson Adoto with the strong move. That was Westbrook who blocks it twice. Mule feeds Williams, who gets the bucket.
That was terrific defense on the other end. It was just so fundamentally sound the way UConn rotated.
And Avina Westbrook with hands on the ball twice. A little late getting the pass into a breaking King. Van Coonen left alone and drains the bucket.
Marquette in the 2-3 zone.
Ten to shoot. Williams.
Beckers was determined to get Williams that shot.
Mule gets the ball into Westbrook. Huskies get another chance. Westbrook. Mule with the rebound. Contact on the top of her head. Ball falls away.
Ponytail loose. Nice pass.
Good break there by Marquette. And Van Clunen gets the finish. Van Clunen leading scorer, first into double figures for Marquette. Beckers for three, yes.
Just so smooth. What a release.
Little no-look pass from Mule, and nothing but net from Beckers. Blocked. Westbrook got another block, but good up and in. Who's that, Taylor? Yes.
Yeah, Cameron Taylor's been quiet. UConn has done a really good job defensively, but she's a tough force inside.
Megan Duffy just about doing jumping jacks over in front of the bench, trying to get her team hands up, play with energy. Westbrook with the offensive rebound, but it was blocked. Murata with the ball after the block. Knocked away by Beckers. Here come the Huskies. Tough shot, falling to the floor.
No contact? That's what Gino Auriemma had his hands up.
Here is Lott, no. Selena Lott has just had a tough time shooting.
Well, and it's hard when you put so much effort on the defensive end to take away the other team's best player. Here she comes up with a good steal.
Tries to take Westbrook, couldn't, but Van Clunen makes herself available for the pass and the easy bucket. Beckers left wide open. Another three.
Well, and that's what you've got to do against the zone. You knock down open shots from outside. They can't guard you out there.
Three in a row from long range for Paige Beckers.
I would think Marquette would come out of the zone as a result of those 3 threes.
Murata got loose inside the UConn defense.
Yeah, a little lack of communication back there. Marquette did a nice job of making UConn pay.
Already almost halfway through quarter number 3 here in Milwaukee. Nelson Adota, double team, feeds it back out to Mule. That's a 3.
Nice job by Nelson Adota. She got the double team and then kicked it back out to the wide open Mule.
Marquette shooting much better in this third quarter. 66% in the quarter. That almost came up with the steal from Mule. Clunen was way outside for that one.
Van Clunen has really been their offensive machine here tonight.
And she will pick up the foul. No, that'll be Nelson. Who will that be? No, that'll be Van Clunen that'll be called for the foul. Paige Beckers. Physical. And then with finesse also. The long-range shot fallen for the freshman, who continues to lead the way for the Huskies, up to 24 points in this one. From our SNY series, UConn undefeated, the 2002 team. You know, it's funny looking back on that. All these years later, the chemistry between all of them still.
Yeah, it's still there. What a great group they are, too.
And, of course, this UConn freshman class, particularly Wednesday night against St. John's and again tonight here at Marquette, showing themselves really well. Nika Mule's been a star in this game. Obviously, Paige Beckers, 24 points, by far the leading scorer in the ball game. Aaliyah Edwards back into the ball game. Lavina Westbrook is out for the moment for UConn. 5 to shoot. It'll be Mule for 3 off the Nelson Adota screen. Aaliyah Edwards fighting for the rebound. She'll be called for the foul. The contributions of the freshmen to this team, particularly, again, in this last stretch of games, cannot be overstated. They've been good and needed.
I would argue maybe a little better than good, right? And that foul, that previous call was on Nelson Adota.
Long-range shot is good from the outside. Taylor Valladay back into the ballgame. Was that Valladay or was that Carlin? It was Carlin. My bad. That's Beckers. No. Edwards with the rebound. Good footwork underneath.
How about that offensive rebound and putback?
Aaliyah Edwards, 11 minutes of playing time, 5 points, 2 of 2 from the floor. Cuts off Murata. Ball goes back into the corner. The three is drained by Carlin.
Yeah, Carlin, Paige Becker's AAU teammate in high school.
Nelson Adota with the ball. Blocked on her way up. Ball gets batted around to King. The run out to Valladay. Up and in. Nice catch and nice put up by the sophomore from Chicago.
Yeah, but that was just an incredible outlet pass. You hear the energy back from Marquette. They had died down a little bit.
And so UConn calls a timeout with 2:33 to go in this third quarter.
You know, we talked a lot about Marquette's rebounding. How about off the Becker's miss? Watch Aaliyah Edwards. Sky up, and then really good step through. Past the defense. Watch her footwork. Boom, boom. Got the defense off their feet and step through to finish.
Well, tonight here in Milwaukee, Monday night, South Carolina comes to Gamble. Our next game here on SNY is next Wednesday when Seton Hall comes to Gamble. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. only on SNY. Gino talking about this being the toughest stretch of the season so far for the Huskies. This Marquette squad tonight, South Carolina Monday. He thinks Seton Hall is an NCAA tournament-worthy team. And they'll come to Gamble on Wednesday for the second meeting of the season between the squads.
And nothing about this season is easy.
Nice run for the Golden Eagles in this last couple of minutes. Here's Nelson Adota. Mule works off the screen, lost the handle. Everybody's losing the handle. 5 to shoot. Beckers inside to Edwards, gets fouled.
Could it be the freezing temperatures outside?
I know my face froze earlier today.
We did see in the first half, they fumbled the ball a couple times, but how about that pass from Beckers? And then all Marquette could do was foul.
Liza Carlin commits the foul. Here's Aaliyah Edwards to the free throw line. Gino talked about how hard she works and runs the floor, and enjoying seeing that.
Yeah, the motor on Aaliyah Edwards is something that you just can't teach. She just never stops.
Taylor got the rebound on the miss over the top of Westbrook, who's back into the game. Outside blocked. Edwards comes all the way out to make the block. End to end, and the foul.
That was an incredible block on the defensive end. She came out of nowhere.
All the way out to the three-point line for the block.
I mean, just ran out, and then to be able to finish while getting fouled. The 6'3" freshman running the floor with the handle, getting fouled, showing her incredible athleticism.
And with the extra there, Edwards now up to 11 points in this ball game. She is 4 of 4 from the floor tonight for the Huskies. There's Murata with the ball for Marquette. Taylor. King inside. Taylor over Edwards, but it wouldn't fall. Offensive rebound, Marquette. Murata. No. Edwards tied up underneath the bucket. Bodies on the floor. Ball to Nika Mule.
Marquette did so many good things that possession. They just couldn't get the ball in the hoop.
Foul called underneath in the traffic. Haven't seen Aubrey Griffin yet today. Gino told us that she was good to go in today's game. There were no, besides Anna Marquardt cannot play today, but we have not seen Aubrey Griffin in this one. Remember, she tried to go Wednesday against St. John's, could only go a couple of minutes and had to come out of the game after banging her knee in practice.
Yeah, so we're surprised that she's not playing, because he told us earlier that everyone's playing besides Marquardt.
Beckers drains another three on the inbounds play. 27 for Page. Edwards with another steal, but can't keep the ball inbounds. It'll be Marquette with 21 to shoot. What I was just saying a couple minutes ago about energy and effort, and what we're seeing here from Aaliyah Edwards.
Yeah, she's just relentless.
Terrific stuff. Inside a minute to go in quarter number 3 here in Milwaukee. Shot clock running out, down to 5. Valladay in the trap. Gets the ball out, but runs out of time. Nelson Adota and Mule double teaming on the defense.
Yeah, UConn is just locked in right now, much to the chagrin of Megan Duffy.
Has to be the best defensive effort we've seen from this team this season.
Yeah, and you know, when we were talking to Megan Duffy last night, you know, she was bringing up the Arkansas game, and Arkansas made shots, right? And that's what led to UConn's undoing. And Marquette just hasn't been able to knock down shots, and now UConn playing with so much confidence on the defensive end.
Mule with the no-look pass to Beckers, who drops the 3. That's 30 for Page. Mule almost got the steal. Marquette will slow it down. The final 10 seconds of quarter number 3. Valladay looks like she wants the last shot. And Clunan, guarded by Nelson Adota, will take a step and travel.
Nice defense there from Nelson Adota. Just making it difficult for Van Clunan, and made her think enough that she shuffled her feet.
2.1 seconds to go. Do the Huskies try a long-range play?
Why not? I mean, you always have to try to make these opportunities count. Maybe they're good opportunities.
Olivia got it out to the three-point line, but not quite enough. And the heave at the buzzer by Murata is no good. Well, Paige Beckers has 6 made threes tonight. That is a career high. She has 30 points on 12 of 16 shooting. And UConn pulling away from Marquette. Back in Milwaukee, a 27-point lead for UConn over Marquette as we start the 4th quarter, and our game reset is presented by Town Fair Tire. Paige Beckers had only taken 2 3-point shots in the first half. Well, she took 6 in the 3rd quarter and made 5 of them. And the Huskies have held Marquette's leading score to just 2 points, by the way, tonight.
You know, Paige, you know, the first half here, that almost awkward finish, but here the pretty roll, and she just is now locked in on the offensive end, and she gets her feet set. She knows she wants to shoot the ball, and she has such confidence that she knows when she shoots that it's going to go in.
32 Wednesday night against St. John's, 30 tonight for Paige Beckers. And the 2 games prior to those two, 27 and 22. What a tear for the freshman from Minnesota, not that far from here. And so we go to the 4th quarter. Alan Bestwick, Megan Kumo with you from Al McGuire Center. Olivia Nelson-Adota working hard underneath, but can't get the roll. Aaliyah Edwards dropped to the floor by Cameron Taylor in a big box out. Here's Van Clunan. Will draw the foul on Nelson-Adota.
So her arm did come down and commit that foul. She's frustrated, but watch the other end. You know, it looks like Aaliyah Edwards, you know, some of it looked like she lost her balance. I think that was a good no call.
So Lauren Van Clunen, the fifth-year senior from Mason, Ohio, Cincinnati area, who struggled the last couple of games for Marquette, just 8 and 2 points and 5 of 19 shooting. Tonight has been terrific from the floor, 8 of 11. She has 16 points. And the thrown away pass there by Beckers. Lott tries to float it into Van Clunen, running the floor, and a nice pass from Lott, too.
Van Clunen runs the floor really, really well, and I love the way Marquette moves the ball up the floor on the break.
Nelson Adota eyeing the basket from beyond the arc, feeds to Mule instead. She'll flip it out to Beckers. Williams, cut off by King, steps back. Yes. Kristen Williams, 14 points now, 7 of 9 shooting for Kristen.
Important for her to get some minutes today. Get the rust off from not playing in the St. John's game from tweaking her ankle.
Yep.
Got a big one coming up on Monday.
South Carolina comes to town, 2 versus 3. Beckers picked off on a screen by Van Clunen. Rebound falls into the hands of Mule off of Nelson Adota. Another no-look pass from Mule. Kristen's toe was on the line, so that was for 2. Rebound come away with by Marquette. Williams, good cutoff of Jordan King. They are going to call that foul on...
Yeah, that had to be an offensive foul. Aaliyah Edwards.
Down, still. It was hard contact.
It was very hard contact. She did a good job.
I mean, there's no intention there other than to lower the shoulder and create hard contact. And Aaliyah's head kind of snapping pretty hard there, so hopefully she's okay.
Took the shot right to the chest.
She's outside the restricted arc. And up.
So,
but holding the towel there, so hopefully
so she obviously got hit in the mouth.
Oh, head to head.
There it is, head to head. Ooh. Head to face.
Ooh.
You see her immediately grab her face.
Well, hopefully is okay.
It's not good when you need another towel.
Well, unfortunately, I have experience with that kind of thing. And be it nose or mouth, hopefully it's minor. So UConn needing to sub in for Edwards, and it will be Avina Westbrook who goes back into the ball game. Oh yeah.
And you know, as a college kid, you know, she's looking at Janelle, the trainer, going, "Is it bad?" You know, you don't want loose teeth.
Yeah, that's a shame. So that foul on Cameron Taylor. As we hit 8 minutes to go here in this fourth and final quarter. Beckers kept moving. Nelson Adota kept looking, but shot missed, and Taylor got the rebound for Marquette.
Such a tough shot on the baseline over the rim. It's a very difficult shot to make.
Nika Mule sets a career high for steals with that one. Beckers cut off, and the pass intercepted as Van Clunen was on the mark.
Good hustle by Marquette to get the ball back.
And what you want to see from your team if you're Megan Duffy is you want to see him keep playing hard. There's King over Kristen Williams, outstretched arms. Rebound Westbrook. Ahead to Williams, but Lott was there to intercept.
And Gino puts his hands up, and, you know, like, Avina, what are you doing? She knows better.
Van Clunen, no. Fight for the rebound underneath. Westbrook gets it.
Now she'll dribble it up and run offense.
7 minutes to go in the ball game in this contest for first place in the Big East. Nelson Adota for three. No, nobody there for the rebound. Here's Van Clunen on Nelson Adota.
Very well defended by Nelson Adota.
Somehow that ball stayed in bounds, and the three-point shot from outside misses. The rebound right to Nelson Adota.
Good box out again by Nelson Adota.
Here's Avina Westbrook. The kick to Nika Mule. And a three.
She gave a little yell.
Oh, yeah.
Psyched that the ball went in. I just love the energy that Nika Mule plays with.
The intensity, the energy, the effort. 5 steals in this game for Nika Mule. And now 8 points. Aaliyah Edwards, we hope she's okay. 30-point ball game at the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee as UConn stretched it out in the third quarter and has kept the foot on the gas in this fourth quarter after an opening spurt by Marquette. And look at the line on Nika Mule tonight. Those are season highs in both assists and steals.
And there's so much that she does that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And one of my favorite things, ooh, nice cut by Marquette.
Here's Taylor.
Cameron Taylor, so good getting to the rim. But Nika Mule has so much energy. She's the first one to pick up her teammates, give them a high five. Great energy and a terrific teammate.
Near McLean into the ball game for UConn. Kristen Williams left wide open for three. Just wouldn't fall. Lott cuts. Runs into Mir McLean. They're going to call McLean for the block.
I mean, McLean was just standing there. That's a good call, though.
Yep, inside that restricted arc, and that left foot was still kind of moving. So McLean into the ball game in favor of Avina Westbrook, and Selena Lott has been held very well in check by the UConn defense tonight.
They do such a good job of taking away the other team's offensive threat. You know, Lott is their #1 scorer, and UConn has really shut her down here tonight.
Upcoming schedule, that game Monday night, South Carolina. Look at the schedule presented by Toyota. Then Seton Hall comes to Gamble. A lot of the rest of this schedule for the Huskies is on the road. Mule, what movement, just missed the shot.
McLean got away with a little bump there too, trying to attack that offensive rebound.
Yep. Valadie cut off by McLean on the switch. Taylor, yes. Cameron Taylor with, now 10 points on the night.
Yeah, aggressive. I like the way she just caught and released.
That's double-double for Taylor. 10 points, 11 rebounds. Nelson Adota giving instructions. The defense tries to collapse on her. Shot clock down to 5. McLean throws one up. Didn't hit any rims, so that'll be a time violation by UConn. So busy spell here for the Huskies. Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. South Carolina, Seton Hall, and then a trip down to D.C. for the rematch with Georgetown. Becker's on the rebound. UConn with a stretch of 9 games in 25 days. And don't forget, still 2 games hanging out there that were postponed that could potentially be rescheduled.
Yeah, the key word there is potentially. Don't hold your breath.
Right. Not a whole lot of time left on the calendar. There's Beckers. Nope. McLean with the offensive rebound in traffic. Gets it back out. So the Huskies reset. 15 on the shot clock. Under 4 minutes to go in this ball game. Taylor got a hand on it, knocked it away. Nelson Adota, left free.
What a nice pass from Nika Mule way up at the top of the key. Hey, Marquette cuts really hard.
Yeah. Lott will draw a foul on the way to the basket on Kristen Williams. You know, that last possession for the Huskies, the screens, the cuts, the movement.
You know, they're still attacking, and then Mule noticed a little lack of communication defensively by Marquette. Nelson Adota wide open underneath.
So here is Selena Lott at the line. 4 points on 1 of 7 from the floor and 0 of 4 from long range. And now 2 of 4 from the free throw stripe. 5 assists, just the 1 rebound for Lott. The beginning of their game against Georgetown 2 days ago, she stepped on an ankle, and that's been...
Yeah, she's been rolling that same ankle all season long.
Kristen Williams will get fouled trying to go up. It's been kind of a continuing issue for her. And Megan Duffy saying that she needs Lott and Van Clunen to kind of get going down the stretch of the season. Well, Van Clunen got going tonight, but Lott still struggling. And Kristen Williams at the free throw line. How about the night for Kristen, Meg? That's 15 points, 7 of 11 from the floor.
Just a really solid effort, you know, and that's that consistency that her coaches want from her. I think it's a great outing coming off of missing that St. John's game. Can nothing but build confidence for herself and her teammates.
So Lott will exit the ball game. Antoinette Walker will come in for Marquette as we're down inside of 3 minutes to go in this one. These two teams will meet again in the final game of the regular season, scheduled at Gamble on March 1st. There's Taylor. Kristen Williams with the rebound. I know. I always say as scheduled, but in this season, you kind of have to do that, don't you? McLean. Got that one to go somehow, up and in with the left hand. Timeout for subs. So Paige Beckers will exit the game with 30 points on 12 of 18 shooting and 6 of 9 from 3. And that third quarter where she was 5 of 6 from outside made such an impact in this game and breaking that score wide open.
Yeah, she just continues to impress, not only with her physical abilities, but it's her maturity and decision making.
Sailor Poffenbarger into the ball game for the Huskies. Walker will get the bucket and a foul. I just don't know, without referring to the thesaurus.
Yeah, I mean,
how to keep coming up with different ways to say the kid's been great.
I mean, 12 of 18 and 6 of 9. I mean, her percentages are outrageous for a freshman. You know, she talked about how the pace of the game is faster than she thought. Well, it doesn't seem to be phasing her at all.
She's certainly caught up to it. That'll be knocked out of bounds off Marquette and UConn's ball with 1:55 to go. So beginning to think ahead now to Monday night in that huge 2 versus 3 matchup with South Carolina. Kristen Williams, yes. Our solid night for Kristen as well. 18 points for the junior. Nelson Adota all the way out by the 3-point line. Ten on the shot clock. Walker. Valadez. Will chuck one up over Nika Mule and get it to go. And a timeout for subs for UConn, and our drive of the game presented by Nissan. Well, it's got to be Paige, right?
Of course, right? Gets bumped, a little Euro step, but found a way to finish.
So Gino subs in now with Piath Gabriel and Autumn Chasson into the ball game. See if the youngsters can run a little offense here in the final minute of competition. Nika Mule leading the point. Gabriel to McLean. Step back. No. Rebound knocked out, but foul on the floor. And that is going to be on Marquette. Juliana Okosin will commit the foul. So, Meg, a thought on that South Carolina game on Monday night and what you see from the Huskies?
Aaliyah Boston is just such a presence down low. It'll be a great matchup for UConn's front line to see if they're ready for that kind of a game.
There are the first points in a Husky uniform for Poffenbarger.
Got everyone on the bench up and cheering. Big smile from what should be the high school senior.
Nice little give and go with Nika Mule. So yeah, Aaliyah Boston, obviously, the big game, the speed, the transition of South Carolina will all be fascinating to watch. Remember that a year ago when UConn went to Columbia, they scored 2 points in the first quarter. Played it pretty evenly the next 3 quarters, but by then, 2 points in the first quarter. Now, no fans, no home crowd advantage for the Huskies. Still be a fascinating night. Foul inside on Gabriel.
Yeah, a little too much body and arm on that from the freshman Piath.
11.5 to go in the game. Rose Nakumu, freshman from Iowa City. Shooting, journalism major. And so in these final seconds, that'll be a kick ball. Looked like Huskies were trying to get the ball to Gabriel to give her a shot at getting some points. And Gino, you could hear saying, dribble it out, dribble it out. So in this fight for first place in the Big East, the Huskies have an impressive performance defensively. Really, offensively, Paige Beckers was spectacular. Nika Mule was terrific. And the final score, UConn 87, Marquette 58. First place in the Big East belongs to the Huskies. And tonight's player of the game presented by Cadillac is the aforementioned fabulous freshman, Paige Beckers. 30 points on 12 of 18. And again, that third quarter where she was terrific from beyond the arc, 5 of 6. And Gino Auriemma has joined us now.
Gino, we just put up Paige's picture as player of the game. And yeah, obviously we talk a lot about Paige, but how about the confidence that she and her 2 freshman classmates who get so much time, Mule and Edwards, the confidence they're playing with, right?
Yeah, they really are. They're playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. And, I think, obviously the more these young players play, the better they're going to play, the more confident they're going to get. But Paige gives them a lot of confidence as well. She talks to them all the time. Matter of fact, I think she gives them too much confidence. She's telling them to shoot shots that I told them if they shoot those shots, I'm going to kill them. She doesn't care. She just tells them, all the things that they can do, that they should be doing. She's great at that. And they play so hard. I mean, Nika and Aaliyah play really, really, really hard. I mean, they play like Connecticut basketball hard. And that's what's allowed them to progress to this point.
Well, Nika Mule, one of the things I love about her is she's the first one on the floor picking kids up. She's the first one giving a high five. There's an energy with her and does stuff that you'll never see in the stat sheet. Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. She sets a screen to get people open, and you would think that she just made a 3 to win the game. So, You know, right now we just have a pretty good feel for where we are. Obviously, you know, you win games on the road. Those are great wins. You know, and then we go home and we got a big one coming up on Monday. But we knew this was going to be a physical game, and I thought we played one of our best games up to this point. This was one of our best games by far.
How about Aaliyah's mouth? Any idea what actually happened other than just getting whacked?
Yeah, I don't know. She took a charge, and I couldn't see from where I was, but Aaliyah's one of the toughest kids on our team. I mean, she doesn't back down to anybody ever. And, you know, she's Canadian, you know, so she's probably been on the ice here and there, and they whack each other around, you know. She just got up and kind of laughed it off. And I think that's just kind of the spirit that our freshmen have brought, you know, here. And, you know, whether they play 25 minutes or 5 minutes, 35 minutes or 15 minutes, whether they start or come off the bench, they just have a lot of moxie in them, and I really like that.
Gino, you mentioned it earlier, our last question. Monday night, South Carolina comes to town. A thought ahead of that game?
Well, you know, not much you can say. You know, they're one of the more talented teams in America, you know, and they certainly, you know, have come off of last year, you know, an amazing year they had last year. They don't look like they've missed a beat at all. You know, it's going to be a tough matchup for us. Our young guys, I think, are going to grow up a lot on Monday. You know, they're going to have to face a team that, you know, has won a lot of big games. And I know they're all looking forward to it. They're pretty excited about it.
No, we're looking forward to it, too. Thanks.
Yeah.
Congratulations on tonight, Coach.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Gino.
Gino Auriemma, after his team wins over Marquette on the road in Milwaukee by a margin of 29 points, 87-58. Aaliyah Edwards, the block and the bucket. Part of a strong game for the freshman class. 29-point final margin for UConn over second-place Marquette. Huskies run their record now to 13-1 on the season and 11-0 in Big East play. And they take on South Carolina at Gamble on Monday. That's a nationally televised game. Our next UConn game on SNY is next Wednesday as the Huskies welcome Seton Hall to Gamble. We begin with the Cadillac pregame show at 6 p.m. Hope you'll be there with us. For Megan Como and our terrific crew here in Milwaukee, Alan Bestwick thanking you for watching and sending you to the studio for the postgame show with Gary Apple and Carol Walters. Here you go, guys.
All right, Alan, we thank you. Back to you and Meg at the Al McGuire Center coming up just a few minutes. But I do want to begin with the fact that this was a battle for first place in the Big East. Marquette had lost just once in the Big East Conference. Now they've lost twice. I think there was pretty much a very clear message sent here by UConn. And you and I were talking, who's better, DePaul or Marquette? I'm not sure that matters. What we do know is that UConn is the best team in this conference.
They are, but I thought it was a great game by both teams.
Yep.
And I don't think the score was really indicative about how good Marquette is.
They're
right?
tough.
They're solid. They're patient. They do their sets. Really good team. You have to give them credit. But UConn, one of the best performances of the season, offensively and defensively. If you really watch, and I love that you can hear them talk on defense. Now, I don't love that there's no fans in the stands. However, you can really hear what's happening when they're coming through screens, how they're doing it, what they're... So I thought defensively they were phenomenal, and I thought offensively everyone got involved. Again, you have all those weapons, very unselfish play comes to them. There's nothing forced at all. And in the flow of the game, you got Nika involved today, you got Paige involved, but they have so many weapons, and on any night, any different person can step up, and it's really fun to watch.
What's amazing is the freshmen, we talked about it before the game, they scored 80% of their points in the last game. They scored 54 of the 87 for UConn in tonight's game. So this freshman class is really bringing a lot to the table for Gino Auriemma, and it's led by Paige Beckers. She is arguably the best player in the land, and she's a freshman, and we saw it again tonight. 30 points coming off a 32-point game last time out against St. John's, close to a new career high tonight. What, I don't know, we sit here every night, we try to find the best words to describe her. New words, exciting words, So what did you see tonight from Paige Beckers?
I know, you're right. Like, we sound like a broken record, but rightfully deserved, right?
Yes.
Paige Beckers, again, it starts with her energy and her enthusiasm, right? She just has an energy that's contagious to everyone on the floor. And like you said, Gary, it's changed. There was a light switch that went off with her, like, okay, Gino wants me to score the basketball, and that's what I'm going to do. Here's a kid that shoots better percentage-wise from three-point land than she does from two-point land. So her three-point shooting has just been phenomenal. And you can see it. She doesn't hesitate. It's all in motion, all in flow. But the three-point shot, best in the land, in the country with her percentage. So what can't she do? Like the three-ball drop. We saw the underneath reverse. I don't know. Send us in your superlative words that describe Paige Beckers, because we're running out of them.
Well, the one thing we know, and I think you bring it up right there. I mean, even tonight we saw the variety of different ways in which she scores the basketball.
Yeah.
The ability to put it on the deck, the mid-range game, that tremendous dipsy-do underneath, switching hands, and then spinning it in off the glass, the Euro step, and then 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. And I do want to focus in for a moment on her long-range shooting, coming in, shooting it at 58% from beyond the arc, and then 6 of 9 tonight and 5 of 6 in the third quarter from downtown. Are you saying that the fact that she's not hesitating, that quick trigger now, is what's really adding to her long-range shooting?
I don't know, Gary. I like the dipsy-do.
I like that too, yes.
Whatever that is, Gary. I like the dipsy-do.
Yes.
But, yes, her three-point shooting is just adding a level. Now you really have to come out at Paige, right? She knocks down shots like that. It makes her even tougher, passing threat. People have to respect her game. And you can see, we saw when we showed the pick and roll, you have 3 people coming out at Paige Becker. She has earned much respect on the scouting report of opposing teams. Now, when that happens, the person rolling is wide open. Gino's a genius, right? The most basic offense in basketball, the pick and roll, is perfect for this situation because you have Paige Beckers on your team who can knock down threes from long range, and she's efficient with it, right? She does it at a clip that's just boom, 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 positive attitude. She's one of those shooters that good shooters keep shooting, right? She shot 27% was her low in the Tennessee game, but guess what? She hit the last big
huge shot.
So she's the kind of player who has this energy and attitude, and Gino called it. He called it moxie, and this freshman class has moxie, and that begins with Paige Becker.
So what happens there on the pick and roll when the big comes out and sets the screen? Does the defense have to hedge a little bit more because they are afraid that Paige is going to knock down the three, which allows the big to roll?
Yeah, absolutely. You're actually, UConn is doing a good job, and we'll have to break it down for you next time, of the way they're playing defense hedging screens with our bigs coming out. But you do, and a lot of that's communication with the team. You have to say, we're going under the screen. I would never go under a Paige Becker screen because she's going to shoot it in your face. So you have to try to pull your person through and go on the top. But if your bigs hedge too far out, they're not quick enough to get back to somebody like Olivia Nelson-Ododa. And what we failed to say about Paige Becker is she's a great passer, but exactly where she leads her big girl to the basket. It's not just, hey, someone's open, let me throw him the ball. It's, I'm perfectly going to time this pass high for Olivia, low for someone else. Her basketball IQ is so good. So we keep talking about, just passing the ball. It's not just that. She threads some needles, makes some passes that perfect position.
Let's go back right now to the Al McGuire Center in downtown Milwaukee and welcome back in Alan Bestwick and Meg Colmo. Guys, we're sitting here heaping so much praise on Paige Becker, as you guys did during the course of the game tonight, as it seems you've done every game so far this season. You're up close and personal there. Let's get your take on what you're seeing from Paige Beckers. Alan, begin.
Awesome. Just awesome. Everything that's been asked of her, she's delivered. At times, maybe a little slower than Gino wanted her to, but think about it. The kid's a freshman, and they haven't played that many games, and already she is dominating the floor. It's awesome.
It really is. And actually, Gary, we're not that up close and personal because we can't be within 25 feet of the court. Yeah. But aside from, all the superlatives that we've all been talking about here and heaping on Paige Beckers, one of the things I think is really cool is over these last 3 games, she has elevated just a little bit more because she finally is starting to get it that, okay, I'm going to take over this team. And it's happening organically. Gino's been saying it, but as these games have gone on, as she's playing, this is happening, that's happening, she's soaking it all in, and she's like, okay, this is me. I'm doing this. And she's not deferring to the upperclassmen anymore. And he wanted her to do it, but sometimes it has to happen in the flow of the games. And I think listen, she's not even anywhere near as good as she's going to be down the road, and she's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
Meg, you talked often about Nika Mule and the little things that she does that don't show up on the stat sheet. What do you see as for her adding on the scoring department for UConn? Is that an important part of the game that she needs to continue to grow?
Absolutely, Kara. I mean, I think her confidence right now is critical, and she's knocking down her open three-pointers. You know, the first couple games, she was kind of building brick houses, right? I mean, she just couldn't score the ball. But I think right now her confidence is so high, and every time she catches it, she feels like she's going to score.
Yeah, and think about the journey for a kid like Nika Mule from overseas in Europe. We're going to bring you to America. You're going to enroll in an American college. You're going to play college basketball for the most storied program in the history of the game. Adjust to that. Oh, by the way, in the middle of COVID.
Yeah,
right?
worldwide pandemic, that's all.
And with an injured foot at the start of the season, too. So dealing with all of that, right, and getting to this point.
And you know what's really funny? Early on, Gino kept praising her. And, you know, she didn't play well those first couple games. And, you know, she came back after the injury. I remember saying to him, what do you see? Like, I don't see it. Now I do. Obviously, he's a lot smarter than I am.
She's tough. I mean, we saw her hit the deck there early in the game. She, as Gino said a few minutes ago in his interview with you guys after the game, there's a quality there, a toughness about her that just sort of permeates this team. So, Alan and Meg, we thank you both. Safe travels back to the Nutmeg State, and we'll see you coming up next week. And so, Kara and I just getting going here on the post-game show. UConn gets the win over Marquette tonight, 87-58. We're going to hear from Nika Mule, and we'll hear more from Gino in just a little bit, plus complete game highlights as UConn now 13-1 on the season, 11-0 in the Big East. Back in a jiff. Gary Apple back alongside Kara Walters. Complete game highlights here. Third-ranked UConn taking on Marquette. Kristen Williams back after missing the last game with an ankle injury. And there goes Kristen Williams getting to the basket off a nice feed from Nika Mule. And the passing was really good, Kara, throughout the course of the game.
The passing and the movement, right? Not standing around. Kristen Williams looks like that ankle's okay. She gets to the hoop.
Well, she had 18 points in the second quarter. UConn trying to run, push the pace. Paige Beckers going to score on the Euro step right here. UConn had the lead by 7. And then Beckers coming off a screen. The jump pass to Olivia Nelson. Adota, so unselfish.
You thought she was going to take that mid-range jumper because she can, and she found the big girl in the corner.
Late in the first half, here's that dipsy do I was talking about.
If you didn't say it, I was going to say it. Look at that again. Reverse layup, switches hands. The dipsy do, the new technical term.
I love it.
Beckers.
41-22, UConn at the half in the third quarter. Beckers active hands on the defensive end, reaching in. A bit of thievery right here.
Defense leading to offense for UConn. She takes that left hand. I like the finesse, but the body control.
And then Aaliyah Edwards, the block, and here she goes. I mean, for a big, this is just a dream right there.
That was great. I mean, huge block goes down the other end. The big girl gets rewarded.
And then Becker's feeling it from downtown.
Look at that. Nika Mule getting involved, saying, hey, Paige Beckers can score. Let me give her the ball. I'll get a lot of assists.
She had 30 in the game. She made 6 from beyond the arc. UConn up 71-44 after 3. And then Edwards, this was a rough moment right here. She comes over. She draws the offensive foul, but she gets crushed right there.
Oh.
And she is tough. And the fact that she was down for a little bit was concerning. Bloodied lip and teeth.
Oh,
yeah.
Gino says she's from Canada. She's used to the Canadian on the ice doing that and coming back. She's a tough kid.
I'm not sure that felt good, though.
I couldn't have felt good. Nope.
87-58, UConn gets the win. What a game for Paige Beckers and Nika Mule as well. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals. And here she is with Alan and Meg moments ago.
Nika Mule joining us now after a game in which she left a strong imprint. Did you have fun out there?
Yeah, I had lots of fun. It's definitely fun to play good teams like this team is, and I feel like it was a good game from both sides. Very physical, very energetic. Yeah, it was fun.
Nika, you bring up the energy. You know, one of the things I love about the way you play is you're the first one on the floor to pick up your teammate, to give a high five, to help somebody out. How important is that to be that source of energy for your team?
I think coming here, what was on my mind was that I have to have that role of energetic guy, and then everything else will fall in place, because I feel like this way I make my team better. Well, it's very important to me, and getting that energy back from my team just gives me even more energy.
The shout out from Paige as Paige heads toward the locker room. Your season started a little slow. You were hurt. Took a little while to get those first points underneath you. Now you look like you're playing with all the confidence in the world. What turned the corner for you?
I don't know the moment that turned that for me, but I feel like just coming to practice, not giving up on myself. My teammates and my coaching staff helped me a lot, building my confidence. I just feel so much comfortable on the court just by practicing hard. I feel like I finally realized how to transfer the way I practice into games.
Well, Nika, how about this that I've heard about Coach Auriemma is talking about you being stubborn. What is that all about?
I don't want to talk about that no more. I don't think he gets a say. I said that many times. He doesn't get a say. He's the most stubborn person that I know, so he doesn't get a say about that. But we share that, yes.
Congratulations on a great game and a great win for your team, Nika.
Thank you so much.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
The fact that she goes after Gino, the most stubborn person that she knows. But, you know, I think one of the reasons she got off to a slow start, don't forget, first few games, she had her foot in a boot, right? So it's taken a while for her to get comfortable, but she is comfortable. And the little things, it's not just the scoring, the assist. She does a lot of things out there.
She's smart. They have a lot of high basketball IQ players on this team this year. So she's smart. She's, you know, Gino said she comes from somewhere where they don't call fouls. So she's hard. She's aggressive. She gets in there. She's scrappy. She gets every 50-50 ball. She is on there, and she's the first to pick up a teammate. So the little things that don't show up on a stat sheet, the hustle, the heart, the setting screens, I love it. She sets a great screen here, gets Paige Beckers wide open, because why not? Why wouldn't you set a screen for Paige Beckers, right? So, I mean, she does all the little things, and she's smart. Like, let's play with Paige Beckers, get her the ball. Let's dive on loose balls. So those little things don't show up on a stat sheet. However, as a coach and a teammate, you really appreciate a teammate like that.
And as you've talked about, when she is at the point, it does allow Paige to play off the ball, which really opens the floor for this UConn team. By the way, 27 assists on 35 made baskets for UConn in the game tonight. Unselfish? How do you make sense of those numbers?
Well, I just have to go back real quick because that interview at the end when Paige Beckers yells and you see that smile on Nika's face, that to me, I know it's silly, but to me, it shows the chemistry they have. And Nika was so nervous in that interview, and it just kind of lightened everything up. So you can see the chemistry that this team has. That's why they share the ball so well. There's a trust amongst each other. There's a trust that Gino has with all of them. So the way they pass the ball is because of the chemistry that they have off the court. I truly believe that. Very unselfish team, and everybody's capable of scoring. So share the wealth. We're not going to force anything. We'd like to get in Paige Beckers' hands, but it can't always happen all the time. So we're going to share with other people like Kristen Williams, and look at that, to Olivia Nelson-Adota. So just smart basketball IQ players, confident players, unselfishness, and a team chemistry is part of the reason that this team passes so well.
Yeah, I would agree on all those fronts. There's an unselfishness, and as you talk about chemistry, certain times there are good players on a team, but they don't play well together. This team, even with all these freshmen, they seem to mesh really well. It's a big reason why they are off to this 13-1 start against South Carolina coming to Gamble on Monday. It's going to be a really good matchup, the number 2 and 3 teams in America. Karen and I, we've got more to do here on the postgame show. When we come back, we're going to hear more from the Hall of Famer Gino Auriemma. Look at Nika Mule getting on the floor, on the deck. You've got to love that.
Yep.
We're back in a moment.
Appreciate that.
Yes. Here we go, game leaders tonight. Paige Beckers led everybody with 30 points in the game. Olivia Nelson-Adota ended up with 8 rebounds, and Nika Mule just omnipresent out there. She ended with 9 assists. Let's hear more from the Hall of Fame head coach. Here's Gino Auriemma, his postgame address to the media right now.
Hey, Coach, what about this collective effort tonight? How did that turn into what you described as one of your best games so far?
Well, I thought we were pretty locked in defensively for the majority of the game. You know, we started off the game that way, and that defensive mindset allowed us to flow into a really good offensive rhythm. The ball was really moving well, and we were cutting well. Liv made some fabulous decisions with the ball, and you know, we just really played, you know, a solid game, you know, for 40 minutes. You know, there wasn't a time when I thought, you know, we're not really playing well. So that's one of the best things that we've done this year. I'm pretty proud of them.
Well, Paige Beckers is now averaging just under 28 points per game over the last 4 games. Is that coming at a good time with this stretch of the season and some of the games you have coming up?
Well, I mean, 28 points a game, anytime it comes, it's a good time. And we've got some really difficult games coming up. You know, the next one's difficult. Seton Hall's difficult. You know, we're just taking it as what's the next game and what do we have to do. And right now, you know, Paige, I think, spent the earlier part of the season just trying to feel things out. And, you know, lately she's been more kind of directing what we're doing. And instead of kind of following a little bit, I think she's pushing and leading a little bit. And she's being Paige. She's being about as good a player as there is in the country right now.
I agree. And what sense of pride do you get when you see not only Paige, but the other freshmen coming along and the energy they bring?
The energy that the freshmen have is pretty high level. It's unusual at times, you know, to get freshmen to understand how hard they got to compete. But Aaliyah and Nika, Paige, Mir, you know, they know how hard they have to compete, and they have a way about them that allows them to just play through things. You know, when they do something really that, you know, you might shake your head at, they don't let it bother them. They have real short memories, our freshmen. They don't remember much, including what I tell them. They don't remember much. They just go out and try to make the next play.
Thank you.
We'll go to Joe.
Thank you. Gino, I don't know about you, but I'm really anxious to see what Nika would look like with 10,000 fans in the stadium and what that version of her energy level would look like.
It's a shame that, you know, it is what it is. I wish that, you know, if you've never been here in this building's really cool when there's a lot of people in it, because they're just right on top of you. And obviously, Gamble is a pretty special place. If we had 10,000 people there Monday night, it would be pretty rocking, you know, like we've seen. But this is what we got, and it's even more remarkable, I think, that the kids are bringing their own energy. Yeah. I didn't like it in the beginning of the season. It was like a close scrimmage, you know. It was awful playing. But I think they've gotten used to it a little bit, and they're bringing it now. They're not, you know, they're not looking at it as, you know, there's nobody here and feeling sorry for themselves. we're in a pretty good place right now.
All right, so that is the head coach, the Hall of Famer, Gino Auriemma. One of the things he spoke about right there, he likes what he's seeing defensively, and they were locked down from the early going because as we were sitting and watching this, a really tough Marquette team. And I think it's worth noting here that Paige Beckers did something tonight and last game on Wednesday that no freshman, all the great players in UConn history, not one freshman has done what Paige Beckers has done over the course of the last couple of games. She is now put up 30-point games. She had 32 on Wednesday, 30 tonight. First freshman in UConn history with back-to-back 30-point games.
Wow.
Hard to believe. 11 national championships, all the great years, all the Final Fours. Is that hard to believe? Nobody's done that?
Yeah, it is hard to believe. But look at Paige looking for a record to break already at UConn.
How about that? And just 14 games into a freshman year.
Wow.
We'll come back, look ahead at the South Carolina game coming up on Monday night, a matchup of two of the top three teams in the nation. UConn wins big tonight, 87-58. Kara and I back in a moment. Here we go, drive of the game presented by Subaru. Paige Beckers late in that first half going up and under, and I'll say it one more time, Kara. The dipsy.
The dipsy do, right there.
How sweet is that right there?
We're going to coin that, Gare.
Drive of the game presented by Subaru, 2 of her 30 points on the night. So next up for UConn, they take on South Carolina on Monday night. South Carolina comes in as the number 2 team in America. Connecticut is number 3. What to expect, Kara?
Very well-coached team in Dawn Staley at South Carolina.
Yes.
The big thing to me is they have great guards, they always have, but Aaliyah Boston, the big post in the middle, that's going to be a good showdown, with Olivia. She's a lot bigger than Olivia. How does she handle it? And can Olivia get some buckets in there and get her into foul trouble? So I think the post game is going to be a big part of it.
And can they get Aaliyah Edwards maybe in there as well to help with the beef down to bang a little bit down low? That would be a big deal. Hopefully she'll be fine after taking that really hard hit tonight and leaving the game. So that's going to wrap it up for us. For Kara Walters, I'm Gary Apple. Thank you for joining us on the way out the door here. Sights and sounds of UConn's win tonight over Marquette. So long.